The Blade of Titan. Leviathan. Titan defense systems have produced many of the most advanced ships humanity has to offer. The Leviathan is no different. Boasting the fusion beam, a weapon capable of cutting a swathe of destruction through an entire enemy formation in a matter of seconds, the Leviathan is effective in both command roles and focused attack roles. The fusion beam is not the only end-all weapon the Leviathan is capable of dispensing, however. The Magma lance, a warhead that can melt through hull armour like butter, with the resulting explosion being enough to take out most small to mid-tier vessels in a single detonation and impact. In short, the Leviathan is a ship that most thought only possible in science fiction, but somehow those madmen over at Titan have made it very possible and very, very real. Hello there, fellow captains. This is Connor, and welcome back to another Fractured Space ship overview. And I guess I could call them 2.0 reviews now, or overviews now, because I've covered pretty much all the ships previously whenever the game was still up and running. Not that it's not up and running now, but, well, there's a distinct lack of human players. But anyway, today we're going to be covering one of the favourites of Fractured Space, that being the Titan Defense System Heavy, the Leviathan. And the Leviathan is kind of the anime ship of the fleet, in that it has a beam weapon, very much like Z fighters in Dragon Ball Z. It has a key blast in the form of the Magma lance, very, very similar to the Z fighters in Dragon Ball Z. It has just a distinct look to it. I mean, it has these wings and stuff that remind me of just anime spaceships in general that don't really seem to have any purpose. I'm not sure if they have some sort of in-atmosphere purpose. I'm not sure whatsoever. But they look cool, and that's usually all that matters. It's science fiction. It's not real. So making something look good is the primary concern, as well as... I mean, it looks realistic. Realistic is not the right word, but it does look like something that could exist. Possibly. It looks... what's the word? Practical in design. And I suppose that leads us into how the actual ship looks, and it does look pretty damn awesome. The Leviathan is one of the favourites of the Fractured Space community. I share that sentiment. It is a very nice looking ship. It performs very well. It performs very good as well, and is easy to pick up for newer players. I mean, regardless of what it says here with the difficulty, I never really found them much use, because I don't think any ship in Fractured Space is difficult to use. All you need to do is look at the abilities, read what happens when you activate a weapon or a module, and then just remember that and use accordingly in battle. It can take up to a dozen or more battles for you to get competent with a ship, but yeah, it's not that difficult. Maybe some of the cloaked ships, maybe. I would say the Basilisk is a lot more difficult to get to grips with over the, I don't know, something like the Ghost or even the Infiltrator. But again, there's not too many ships in the game that are that difficult to use. But anyway, the Leviathan is one of the ones that you can get to grips with a lot more easily. And look at that little runway down there. Look at that. It's an awesome looking ship. And see that in there? Right in between those two, I'm going to call them legs. Oh, if they're legs, what are we looking at now then? But this is the fusion beam cannon, or what would you call it, the vent or whatever, the barrel from where it dispenses great justice. It's so fucking cool. But yeah, let's have a look at all the skins here. Now, there are a couple of really unique ones, or at least one unique skin on this, and I'll just cycle through them slowly. I do like most of them. I'm not a fan of the really bright and colourful ones, like the Union Jack. That's primarily because I'm Irish. I am joking there, but I don't like these big colours that kind of take away from what the actual scale of the ship is. It just doesn't look right to me. Jolly Roger is fine, it's just black, as well as the black edition. And there's one of the more unique skins in the game. If you're a fan of Alien, then you'll probably have guessed and seen that it's based on H.R. Geiger's kind of theme, or his art style. Even the bridge there, and the tower, the bridge tower, looks like a xenomorph head, cranium. It's pretty damn cool. And this was an award for doing something. I think maybe signing in a certain amount of days or for a certain amount of days. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Acid. Yeah, it's one of them bright colored ones. Luna. Couple of what are they called? Partnerships there. Some tech companies, Maya and Intel. You've got the Swarm ones, which came with those story modes. I guess there were story modes. And the Kraken's actually pretty damn cool. Although the skull placement there could have been back here in the rear. It's about all being there. And Galactic Express, the old baby blue one. Terrible looking. Look at it. Absolutely ridiculous. But we'll go back to the perfect default Titan skin for the moment. It looks pretty awesome. Oh, there's a little helipad there. By the way, this is probably a little bit late. But if you'd like to skip straight to the battle, then there's a timestamp in the comment section below. You've probably already noticed, well, if I'm watching a YouTube video, I always scroll down while watching or listening anyway, just for a nosy. But anyway, yeah, let's get back into the actual stats of the ship and how it plays. So this is it's a heavy, of course. In this game, you know, they're called heavies, attack ships, support ships, not something like dreadnoughts, destroyers. Although most of the ships in this game kind of would fill different roles if they were in dreadnought. For example, this could be a dreadnought as well as a destroyer. And it has beam weapons, so I suppose tactical would come into it as well. Only they do beam weapons right in this. But anyway, let's have a look at the modules or the ship loadout. So, the base weapon in this thing, the weapon you're going to be firing the most frequently, is the Tempest cannon. The Tempest cannon does take a while to charge up and begin firing. But once it gets wound up and it starts unleashing hell, it is pretty damn formidable. But it does take a while to start firing, and it comes to the point where sometimes I jump into the game after a while and think, hold on, why is this weapon not firing? I am holding in the left mouse button, but it just won't fire. Oh, hold on, there it is. Oh, right, okay. Oh, yeah, that's the way it was designed to be. A bit confusing, but, you know, it's different. Not everything needs to be the same with a different color palette. It's just unique to this ship, and I like that. So the stats for this are the range is 15,000 meters, so it's not that great. The ships in this are a lot bigger than the ships in Dreadnought. So, for example, you would need to be a ship that looks further away in Dreadnought would actually be closer in this, basically because of the size difference. 15,000 meters is the range. The base damage is 31 damage per hit. Per damage. I've never been able to figure out what PPD means. People have told me it's when in one ear and out the other almost instantaneously. And the refire rate is 0.15, so it fires fairly frequently. It's basically just like a Gatling gun, a laser Gatling gun. The flavor text reads, Tempest cannon fires a blizzard of shots, deal persistent damage to enemy targets. Okay, that's not grammatically correct, but, well. Now, there are two variations of this same weapon, but they work completely differently. We've got the Tempest Flamer, which kind of fires one big barrage at once, and then has a 5-second cooldown. Of course, the damage is less with each shot, and the refire rate is, well, you can see there the volley is 60 per volley, which is quite a lot. But honestly, still sticking with the old vanilla, old reliable Tempest cannon. But then we get the Tempest Tri-Cannon. Tempest Tri-Cannon fires projectiles in sync for improved accuracy. Of course, the damage is reduced there as well. The refire rate is lower as well, I guess. Yeah, it is. And it says max 3 turrets firing on this one as well as here. Doesn't say it there, so I'm guessing Tempest Cannon can only fire with 3 guns as well, but it isn't there. That's something that used to be an issue with Fractured Space, at least for me. On one variation of a weapon, you get some information that would be useful on another variation, but you wouldn't get it. It was very inconsistent with what information was being given. And that never really changed. It's still in this state today. That would have been something nice to have changed. Doesn't seem like it would take that much work. But yeah, I will just stick with the base Tempest Cannon. It does have a nasty charge up time, but once you get rolling, you never really need to take your finger off the mouse button. And then we get to the big fella of the ship. Every ship in Fractured Space has a weapon or something that makes it special, makes it stand out from the rest of the fleet. And for the Leviathan, it's the Fusion Beam. The Fusion Beam is a powerful hit-scan weapon that can devastate enemy ships. Damage is applied for as long as the beam is held on target. Maximum range 20,000 meters, but its optimum range is 6,000. So even though you may be able to fire this weapon at an enemy that's 18,000 meters away, don't. Just don't. Wait until the enemy is a lot closer. Not only will you do more damage, but you're able to more reliably keep the beam on the enemy ship. The base damage is 175 damage every 0.25 seconds for 4 seconds. So that's like, what, 2,800 damage or something? Which is nothing to be snuffed at, especially when you get your attack damage upgrades every 3 levels. I can't actually remember if it is exactly 2,800. I could be wrong there. No, yeah. I calculated 2,800 damage in total from the base fusion beam. I could be wrong. I'm terrible at math. Like, really bad. But anyway, we'll look at the second variation of the fusion beam, which is the fusion shock beam. The range is the same for its maximum, but the optimum range is a little bit... You've got more range with this thing. 10,000 meters over the 6,000, so it's pretty good. The base damage is lower. The charge time is... Well, you can fire this thing off more frequently, which is basically what it is, what it's got different over the base fusion beam. It can be fired more frequently. It's not as powerful, of course, and the base cooldown is a lot shorter than the 46 seconds on the base fusion beam to the 32 seconds on the fusion shock beam. Fusion shock beam is weaker than the fusion beam, as I said. However, its reduced cooldown allows for more frequent use. I saw people using this towards the end of the lifespan of Fractured Space, at least whenever I was playing it, but I still love to stick with the fusion beam. I am the type of person that likes having a big gun left in reserve. I'd rather wait the... How many seconds is it? What is that? 14 seconds? For the cooldown? Than have this thing more often, but maybe it doesn't do enough damage to take out an enemy ship when I really need it. So I just like to go with something that packs a bit more of a punch. This is the big weapon on this ship. So if I can have it, that it does more damage when it finally comes off cooldown, it'll be a lot more rewarding for me and do a lot more damage to my enemy. Now, one of the most useful systems in the entire game that was criminally underused by players is the jump point. The jump point is up for a duration of 30 seconds. The base cooldown is 2 minutes, however, which is quite long. But just listen to this. Jump point is deployed at a set range, allowing allies from any sector to jump to it. Whilst deploying the buoy, the Leviathan takes increased damage. So it's just like you're trying to jump to another sector. You will take increased damage while deploying this thing, but this allows any ally from any sector to jump instantaneously to this jump buoy. Super damn effective and super useful, but I never saw many people use it outside of team games. And I'm not just talking about being in a match where people weren't set up in a team in voice comms and the other players that weren't were bots. No. Mostly, pretty much for the most part, players not using this, and it was super useful. I guess it's because in game it was pretty difficult for you to let your allies know that this thing was up and active without voice comms. So with voice comms, it becomes a really useful tool and a necessary one if you want to be doing well. But even without this thing, I still think the Leviathan is a beast. It really is. That just gives it an element of support for its team, and it's pretty cool. I like this a lot. I liked being able to use it whenever it was an ally that was currently captaining the Leviathan. It always made for some funny moments too, whenever the enemy weren't expecting you to jump in and give a reinforce for your ally. But next we go on to the second anime weapon or ability for the Leviathan, the Magma Lance. There is no weapon in this game that has such a badass name as this. The Magma Lance and the fusion beam. God damn it. The Magma Lance is basically a missile, but it's bright purple and looks like a key blast from Dragon Ball. It has a range of 20,000 meters, so in combination with the fusion beam, these two are made to be used in concert. Base damage is 1,000. That's a lot. That is quite a lot compared to other missiles. Whereas other missiles would have a few projectiles fired off, a few ordnance. This is only the singular warhead. The cooldown is 30 seconds, which is not bad. Usually whenever you need this thing, you'll notice that it's off cooldown. And the little blurb of text here, or info. Magma Lance homes in on a target, dealing significant damage on hit. See the Magma Lance and fusion beam used in concert? Pretty damn effective. It'll take a massive chunk off the enemy ship's hull points in seconds. it's really effective. I mean, this ship is a heavy. It's a heavy attack, as you can see there. But it is quite a punchy ship as well. It kind of, in my opinion, is more effective than some of the other attack-oriented ships in the game. Not the heavies, but just, the actual destroyer class ships in the game. In this game, they don't go by the destroyer class, but basically you can tell by looking at the ship and its length, compared to some of the larger ships, what class it would be in other games or in, other sci-fi universe. This thing is a beast. If I had to compare this thing to something, it would kind of be the Athos and Dreadnought. It's large enough to be a capital ship or a Dreadnought, but it's also got enough attack behind it, enough punch, that it can push the line and hold its own. And lastly, we have the Leviathan fighters. These are just a wing of fighters, basically. They deal damage, they're very useful. The wing size is 12. Leviathan fighters can be ordered to engage enemy ships. Enemy fighters, bombers, and then drones are attacked as a priority before attacking the ship. So, in short, let's say there was another Leviathan out there. The other Leviathan captain, the enemy captain, hadn't ordered his Leviathan to do anything. The fighters were just flying an escort. And you sent your own fighters against the enemy Leviathan. They would attack the Leviathan fighters before they would attack the ship itself. And down here, the point defense, they're pretty self-explanatory. Just for taking out things like fighters, as well as torpedoes, missiles, mines, that type of thing. And that's Leviathan. It's one of my favourites and one of the community's favourites, and has been ever since the game was launched. It's one of the first ships introduced into Fractured Space as well, if not one of the first ships, I believe. It's hard to remember now with Fractured Space having so many ships, and, well, let's actually get into a battle and show you all what it can do. Here we are. So what do we have on our team? We have a Reaper, Black Widow, Superlifter, and an Interceptor. And on the enemy team we have a Displacer, that's going to be annoying, a Destroyer, a Superlifter, and, didn't get to see that last two, a Raven and a Pioneer. Okay, let's see where our allies are going to jump to. It's really odd though, what with there being no more human players. I have heard that there's currently an active server up, but it's not the official servers that can have players. I'm not sure how to gain access. I have googled it a few times. There's a couple of Steam groups relating to some sort of private server for Fractured Space. But yeah, playing with the bots all the time, how would I put it? There's no bite to the combat or even the matches. It just, well, there's no stakes really. Even if I get killed by a player, I still know that I've been killed by a player, that I've done something wrong, and they've done something right. Otherwise, I wouldn't be dead. So here, I'm going to show you the Magma launch. There it goes. Look at how purple that is. It's a big purple boy. And the fusion beam. While my allies are focusing down the Pioneer, I'll focus on the Raven. Now look at that. That was from the Magma lance and the fusion beam. One thing to mention with the fusion beam is that it is dispersed, or it's dispensed, I suppose would be the right word. Fired from the very front of the ship in between those two, well, legs, I guess. So it's a very tricky ship to use whenever you're looking to use the fusion beam. You have to be facing directly ahead when firing it at an enemy ship. I'm just going to hold down Alpha here for a moment. Okay, there's the Raven back. Magma lance out. We'll also let's deploy our fighters against them. That will be a good idea. Ready's fired missiles at an enemy, or sorry, an allied interceptor. Oh, and there's the Displacer. Okay, he could be annoying, especially if he throws my aim off whenever I'm trying to use the fusion beam. Fusion beam charging. Look at that damage. Now we have a bit of a fight in our hands. We've got a Pioneer in front of us and a Displacer below us, but looks like there's some allied help coming in. Yeah, in the form of an Interceptor. It's all Titan defense systems today, baby. We're not going to last long here. Come on. I wonder if the bots are programmed to actually use my jump points, my buoys. It's actually a good question. I'll have to use it and see if they make use of it in any way. So with the dispensing of upgrade points here, of which you only get 3. The first 2 will be attack, and the last one will be defense. Usually I throw them all into attack, but seeing how I'm the big fella here in this team, I think it makes sense to have some defensive capabilities as well. Gamma is up in a minute, so we're going to head there early. Now we are a large ship, so we don't move as fast as some of the smaller guys. Which of course means we want to get there earlier. Look at those thrusters. And you see every time I'm going to make a Fractured Space videos, this is something I'm going to be pointing out. What's that? What's the thrusters? They don't start off at full burn. I love that it's a gradual build-up of heat and power from the thrusters. I wish Dreadnought had that. It's not something everybody would notice. It's not even something that everybody would care about. But I care about it, and it was a small detail that just blew my mind whenever I initially saw it when it was patched into Fractured Space. Because initially the thrusters in Fractured Space did look very similar to how they are in Dreadnought, which is very bland and basic. But I like that they did update them. I don't believe all ships have the updated thrusters. Fucking displacer. Oh, looks like the left side armor of the destroyer is down. Point defense engaged for those missiles. We'll have our fusion beam in 10 seconds. Hopefully we'll be able to take them out before then. We're going to recall our fighters just so they can replenish their numbers. Come on. I would deploy the jump point here, but I'm under enemy fire, so it's not really a good thing to be doing. Come on. Superlifter is our next target. Where is he? Now, even the way the debris works in this game, so there could be some tiny asteroids in front of you, and if you fly through them, you actually see them impact off the hull. They shatter into smaller pieces, and it's again not something that's important at all, but it just makes you more immersed, and that's what I'm all about when I play a game. I want to be immersed. Fusion beam should be able to reach there, I hope. It does. Yes, get in. Another target down. Now we have to wait 35 seconds to get it back. Something's firing missiles at us. That's an allied superlifter. Hopefully he's repairing us. That would be nice. Have some assistance, but I'm like the Mandalorian in that I don't trust droids, or in this case bots or AIs. I've just had no reason to. I'm just too used to playing with human players. Although, those of you who have, been with me for quite a while and followed me during the Fractured Space days, I did get quite annoyed whenever there was a human player that just was beyond incompetent, to the point where I just did not understand how they could be that bad. I mean, it baffled me. It made me angry that somebody could exist like that. Me and my elitist ways, huh? Hey there, Raven. Fusion Beam wants to say hello, bitch. Oh, yes. Reaper, you might want to hang about and get some repairs there, bud. Look at the size of them guns defending the station. Look at them. So whenever you're attacking the enemy station, you can't capture it without destroying the defensive turrets and weapons, but it's not advised. You'll continue to take a lot of damage and punishment from them. So you can take them out by hitting the solar panel generators, although they're at some other position. I never noticed that the pipelines there were so exposed. It's a bit of a poor design choice, but of course that's obviously for aesthetic reasons. Just to show near players as well as those that don't know that of course they're connected to those solar panels down there. And I should be out helping my team, but I'm looking at small details. We're going to jump to Beta 1. And assist our lone ally here in his struggles against the enemy horde. Well, not really a horde, it's 2 ships. Okay, away you go, fighters. We can take care of this pioneer pretty damn easily. There goes the Magma lance, and the fusion beam is charging. I'm so curious about what the Fractured Space devs are going to be working on now. That they're working with wargaming, or working for wargaming. Would have been cool if they kept their what's the word? Come on. Kept themselves as edge case and weren't completely 100% tied to wargaming, but they got themselves into a bit of a rough position there. I mean, the only reason I don't think Fractured Space worked or was as popular as it should have been is because the advertising of the game was just so poor. Not only is it a niche product, but I mean, even the niche product like this should have at least been as popular as Dreadnought, and it wasn't. I remember whenever they started releasing their advertising for the game, it was mainly through YouTubers, and YouTubers that really had no interest in this type of thing. One of my more favorite YouTubers is the Mighty Jingles. I enjoy his videos a lot, but whenever he made Fractured Space videos, it just didn't seem like he was all that interested. It seemed more like something he did once just because it was a new game maybe some fans told him about, and then because he made a video on it, Edgecase approached him to maybe cover a couple more ships. He did that, but he never really seemed to have much interest in it, and it got him a fucking captain in the game. He's a literal captain in the game. I didn't even get to be a captain. It makes me sad. Oh, I've always got you, Dice. I've always got Dice Kaplan, an IX209. Coda there, she can go fuck herself. She's one of them dirty bots. Now there's the Tempest cannon. It's not the most powerful weapon, but when you do get all guns sighted on an enemy and have an arc of fire. Come on. Oh shit. Gamma's up soon as well. We want to get him before he jumps. Most of the enemy are at Gamma. Where's all my allies, by the way? Most of them are dead, so I'm not going to Gamma. That would be a bit too much of a conundrum for me to go there when I'm not supported by my team. Of course, the bots are going to fucking go there regardless. That's something that, as I mentioned earlier, I got really annoyed by human players at one point in Fractured Space, and that was something a human player would do. They'd notice that all 5 enemy ships were at Gamma, but we had no presence there, but for some reason one would jump there. They would die, and then they would go into the chat giving off about, oh, why were you guys not there? Why'd you give me no support? Well, you clearly jumped there without any support to begin with. You didn't ask for support initially. You knew that the entire enemy fleet was there, and yet you jumped anyway. And of course, they wouldn't understand and would get really salty anyway, because people are idiots. Although bots, they're idiots without feeling. And they're idiots you can't annoy or troll. So it's not that fun. Right, we're capturing the enemy forward operating base here, and then we jump directly to their base, their home base. And while I'm in their forward operating base here, I can repair, level up if needed. I mean, I'm almost level 8. And my allies, as well as the enemy, are still fighting over Gamma, so I think this is a perfect time to go to the enemy base and destroy some of their defensive emplacements and turret positions. So there is the turret generator. Goddamn displacer just knocked me way off course. Although that's good for me, because it means that I'm further away from danger. Oh, hold on, my allies are here. Okay, so they can be useful. Looks like our point defense took out a single missile there. There's another turret generator. We'll launch the Magma launch this time. It'll do some serious damage. I mean, you can see there the Tempest cannon, the damage does build up over time. But that's the same with anything, I suppose. Even a slingshot's damage will build up over time if there's nothing there prior to it. Oh. Okay, we're going to jump out here. We're going to jump back to our home base. Oh, look, there's some farming commune. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's get some repairs. Yeah, we're level 8 now, which is good. We've got our cool fins on the side, our cool wings, because we're so cool. You know how football players, or I suppose seeing how most of my audience is from the States, soccer players, you'll notice that, I mean, I have to say this first off, I am not a fan of soccer, or football as it's called over here. Not at all. I mean, I think the game's fine, I used to play it when I was young quite a lot. But nowadays, it's just, I don't know, it's too commercialized. You've got a team like, let's say, Liverpool, which is my dad's favourite team, always has been. And to me, it's interesting putting a city or a town against another city from another place, with players taken from those cities or towns. To me, that's really interesting, and at least seems a bit more competitive. Pitting one city against another city, not necessarily from the same country, but pitting the best of the best against the best of the best of another place. But it's not even that. It's just, let's buy a really good player from another country, put them on the team, and then it ends up that most of the team aren't even from that city or town. It just lessens it in my eyes. Like, it's not as competitive, or what's the point in naming them after cities? In America, at least you get them, you know, they've got some animal name or something. At least that kind of makes sense. But it's just, who can buy the best players and put them on their team? And that's what FIFA's all about, I suppose, buying cards. And now EA is taking the piss with that, or has been taking the piss with that for years. I mean, that's where the whole loot box thing came from. EA and their FIFA game series. And people eat it up. They lop it up like milk. Really irritates me. And then there's good games like this that just go under the radar. Partially down to edge case on the poor publicity as well as advertising, picking the wrong people for the job. Dreadnought did this as well. They got YouTubers that really don't cover games like this, paid them to promote the game in a couple of videos. Then, of course, whenever the money dried up, those YouTubers just stopped making videos on the game altogether. Now, Connor does sound a bit salty here, don't I? Yes, I do, Connor. Because I'm a small channel, but I'm dedicated to things I like. And I don't think Dreadnought have approached me once. Not once. But that's not why I do this, obviously. I do it because I like the games, and I want the games to do well. Why would I want a developer of a game or a publisher of a game that I enjoy to pay me money? I'd say, you know what, keep your money, just give me some grey box points, because that shit's expensive. And by the way, you know all those captain outfits and all? Can you please just knock them in the head? We're the commanders of goddamn ships. You're putting resources into fucking hats and coats when you should be putting them into actually fixing bugs and stuff. Oh, but Connor, it's not the same team that works on this thing or over that thing. No, but the same money's being put into either resource. Duh. I got really off track there, didn't I? Got really off track. Where to go to? Football, Fractured Space, Edge Case, and then Dreadnought. I have 2 points, don't I, in attack, so we'll get another point for defense. Increases your hull strength, reduces home base damage, and boosts repair rate. Reduces home... Didn't realize it reduced home... Hold on, what the hell's going on here? Oh, Gamma's up in 30 seconds. Okay, let's make our way to Gamma. There's IX209 in the top left. My main buddy, old pal. Oh god, Coda. If I could turn you off, I would. I've actually looked. Can't do it, unfortunately. And there's Dice. If there's a woman from science fiction that I would marry, it wouldn't be Dice. No, I wouldn't torture her like that. I tend to ramble on a bit. Is that the display stream firing it? It is, I think. It's almost down. The Superlifter's UI is getting in the way, but it's almost down. Come on, Displacer, die, and then we'll go for the Raven on our left. Or no, what? We'll go for the Superlifter, actually. It's more of a threat. I mean, it's not. It's a support ship controlled by a bot, so it's pretty slow on any action it takes. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about lately, guys. I've got a small YouTube audience. I've always, for the past 2 years at least, I've been around 6.5 thousand subscribers, which is not a lot at all. But I consistently get views of around the same number, depending on the game, of course, as well as comments from the same people. I'm starting to notice people in the comment section, just as I notice people I play against or with in Dreadnought. It's pretty awesome. And Greybox is obviously the ones responsible for this. If it was the developers of Dreadnought, I'm not sure. Honestly, you can't put blame where you're not sure where it goes, although I dislike publishers a great deal. The faceless corporation, they're always to blame, aren't they? Yeah. Even though they make these things possible. You had to think about that. Without the money backers, we wouldn't even have this game or Dreadnought. Although I'm not sure. Hold on, how did Fractured Space actually get funded? Was it just by Edgecase themselves? I haven't thought about that. But what was I saying? Yeah, to approach a YouTuber that maybe makes 2 videos in your game after you pay him to do so, but then they never touch it, it seems scummy to me. If you're not interested in the game or you don't feel like you'll have any long-term interest, I wouldn't do it. If somebody were to come today and offer me money to cover a game, I don't think I'd do it. If I enjoyed the game, I'd just say, you know what, put the money into development. Like, into development, don't be putting it into your pocket, give it to the developers so they can maybe add a feature or touch up a few bugs or something. If I enjoy the game, I'll play it and I'll make videos on it. That's something that's always bugged me. Now the whole thing with Jingles, the mighty Jingles, who many of you probably know about on Fractured Space, is that he is just not interested in this type of thing. Now and again he is, but he's more into the historically accurate ships, tanks, that type of thing, vehicles. It's not that he does play the odd science fiction game now and again, but they're usually narrative driven. You've usually got a story behind them. Okay, I think that might be the majority of the defenses taken out. But I do criticise Dreadnought quite a bit, and I did criticise Fractured Space quite a bit. But even when I did criticise Fractured Space quite a bit, the developers were always really nice to me. They always mentioned me in newsletters, and it was just nice to see that somebody was watching. My channel's not that big. I do have a lot of you guys out there watching, but it is nice whenever somebody who actually works in the game notices that you're enjoying it. But I can't say I've ever had that from Dreadnought. Although maybe they're run by a publisher, so maybe they don't have the freedom to do that type of thing. Whereas Edgecase were run by themselves, so they probably had a lot more freedom when it came to, you know, reaching out to the community and stuff. But I just don't know. I don't know. Come on. Yeah, Displacer, that's right. You push me away, you fucking idiot, you. Keep pushing me, keep pushing me. Don't shoot me though. Ah, god damn you. Come on, don't shoot me, come on. No, come on. Jump, Connor, jump. He's jumping as well. Are we going to get out? Are we going to get out? There's 2 missiles on their way. Come on, come on. Yes, get in. Literally less than 1% of health left. That was so awesome. Oh, by the way, guys, here's how you do repairs in capital ship action games. You get repair drones that go in wells and attach plates and stuff, instead of just having the green beam that just magically repairs everything. Oh, it's a salty episode today. I guess it's just, I'm really sad that Fractured Space is no longer a game where I can vent my frustrations on other people. It sounds really dark, but that's what we do every day in video games, at least for those of us that play the online variety. And I don't really play many at all. I mean, before recently, whenever I did play Elite Dangerous, which was rarely, I would usually play it in the solo mode, offline. But yeah, Fractured Space and Dreadnought are 2 of the games where I only play online. At least used to. Is that the Displacer again? Oh, I need to owe him a little bit of revenge. You're going down, bud. You don't mess with the Leviathan and get away with it. You can keep pushing me back. I'm just going to keep moving forward. You have not got a chance in hell. Magma launch out. Direct hit. Close range as well. Oh, he's pushing me. He's pushing me. My damage is lessened because of the distance and the range, but you know what? We'll keep pushing forward. He can only push us back so often. Come on, we got him. We got him. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you blow up a goddamn annoying support ship. Now we need to jump back to the home base. Repair. And then continue on our way to victory. Come on. Our team are capturing Gamma. Oh, I'm healed up, repaired. I can head to Gamma as well to lend some support. Look at those little fighters. Oh, they're so cool looking. What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Who do I want to go after? Who's in front of me though? Pioneer, maybe? Looks like he's going to move behind cover. No, he's not. He's a good target. Keep inflicting damage, although it looks like I'm about to be on my own. Who's capturing? Come on. Top of our ship is taking a lot of damage. That means that we're going to be taking more damage to the top of our ship. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that point in defense really is helping out. Come on. Ah, it's the goddamn displacer again. I think it's quite a heavy ship too, so it has a bit more hull points than some others. Shit. Am I alone here? Oh, he's trying to jump. Magma Lance racked him. Yes. Can we survive until our plasma beam's ready? Our fusion beam, sorry. God damn it. If we can take out this Raven. But what's he trying to do? You see, this is one of the downsides of playing a heavy ship. You might be a brute when it comes to combat, but others can easily outmaneuver you. And I should be in a perfect position here. Hold on. What happened there? I jumped out? I must have pressed 6 by accident. Yeah, I'm using a Razor Naga. The number keys are where the thumb would be, or resting on a mouse. So that's probably why, but I don't recollect pressing it. But if I warped or jumped back, that's probably what happened. We haven't got enough energy for point defense. Yeah, we're going down. If we can do some damage to this destroyer, it'll all have been worth it. Yeah, not much at all. And our allies seem to be mopping up whatever's left. Yeah, they want to finish off that superlifter and head back for the destroyer. But they have the Gamma 3 buff, which means they do more damage. So that's not good. I mean, if that destroyer honestly was in the hands of a capable player, capable captain, they could easily take out all 3 of these ships. The destroyer is one of the more powerful ships in the game, alongside the Gladiator. It can't hold its own as well as the Gladiator, but it can still put up one hell of a fight against multiple targets, which is something that in Dreadnought at least doesn't seem possible. No matter what ship you're in Fractured Space, if you know how to play that ship and you can play it well, there's enough cover here, there's enough maneuverability as well as speed for most ships to be able to outmaneuver and possibly take victory from multiple ships if you're playing well enough and if you know what you're doing with that ship. This game's going on a lot longer than they usually do. I don't know why that ship there jumped back. We're going to go to beta here. Allow our allies to push up the alpha lane, and we'll hold down beta. I think they're already... Have they already started moving? Gamma's not for another 3 minutes or so. I'm not sure what they're doing. Such a gorgeous ship. And one thing I remember asking one of the devs years ago about Fractured Space is why the Titan ships, Titan Defense System ships, never seem to have a visible porthole or window on the ships. And the person didn't know. They didn't. They had to ask the artist, and it turns out they used some sort of a, what was it again? Advanced radar pulse wave system? I'm not sure. As well as cameras, which kind of makes sense. Windows are a weak spot. Just like, who was it that said it? Oh yeah, the Geth consider windows and portholes and stuff on ships a glaring weakness, so they don't put them on their ships in Mass Effect, which made it easy for the Normandy and Shepard to approach a Geth warship. Pretty cool. Small details like that really flesh out a universe. The Titan are that advanced that they do not need windows or eyes. They need eyes to see the consoles and the systems for what's actually going on. But yeah, it's pretty cool that they mainly run off sensors to figure out what's going on off the ship. I mean, you can see them there. Those little discs. It's pretty cool. It's a nice little feature. Something that most people would not even have recognized or questioned. Right, Alpha. Oh, hold on. Thought I just saw an ally jump there. But where are they jumping to? Home base. Okay. It'll be Gamma soon, so they're probably getting ready for that. Although, you can see there an enemy ship is jumping to... Yeah, it's attacking our forward operating base in Alpha. I'm just going to continue pushing here down the beta lane. I'll capture their forward operating base, and then I will attack their home base whenever they're all going for Gamma. That, to me at least, seems like a reasonable strategy. Where's our fighters? Let's deploy them. Oh, there they are there. Look at that. Glorious. Oh, shit. Shit. Okay, it's a destroyer. This is a ship that could counter us fairly effectively. Although, I'm more effective at close quarters than he is. The destroyer is more of a ranged vessel. But still, it's no slouch. It really isn't a slouch in close quarters. As long as you're able to aim those guns effectively and fast enough, you can do well. Come on. Magma Lance out. Magma Lance is not even tickling the destroyer. Come on. I'd be angling a lot more and turning my ship to different angles if it weren't for the fusion beam needing to be fired forward. Oh, okay, so the aft engines have been sufficiently damaged to where they're going to be taking more damage per hit. There we go. They're fighting over Gamma. I've captured this station. We'll get repairs. Okay, we're going to the enemy base. We're going to try and end this now. Hold on, is that an enemy ship? Nope, no enemy presence in their home base whatsoever. Oh, now there is. Okay, we need to start taking out some enemy ships. It's the Pioneer. Not a difficult target. Oh, and we've won. There we go, folks. The Titan Defense Systems Leviathan. The beast from the deep. The monster of the waves. And the, for some reason, key wave, key beam, key blast dispensing machine of justice. It's pretty damn cool. It really is. I still love this ship to this day. It was one of the first I picked up in Fractured Space, and it's still one of the more regular ships I would play. Of course, I don't play it as much nowadays because obviously it's against bots because of the whole delisting from Steam and stuff. I'm hoping that is going to lead to something where maybe Wargaming take up Fractured Space's mantle and continue it. But I got ranked up to Supreme Commander. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to check out my Patreon as well as the Discord. Both are in the description below. And do not forget to check out these 6 awesome individuals on screen right now. These are my 6 patrons at the moment. I'm sorely lacking in patrons at the moment. I was hoping to get 20, but even getting 10 by the end of January would be awesome. But there's also a PayPal link in the description below if you don't want to go with the whole monthly subscription-based thing. The minimum for Patreon is $1, I believe. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're playing. If you want to see a certain ship in one of these videos, then comment down in the comment section below. But of course, like always, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.